Overthinking is killing you. Here's the cure, written and published by Ngasline. Your thoughts can take you back in time and cause problems in your life, rushing ahead to make problems that don't occur, running back to revisit mistakes that can't be altered, making basic choices feel like critical decisions, creating monsters from shadows. Each and every day. You are not broken. You're not losing your mind. You're caught in a cycle of overthinking that's taking away your peace, your sleep, and your chance to truly enjoy life. But what many people don't realize is that overthinking isn't something you're born with. It's something you can change. Just like any habit, it can be changed. In these 5 lessons, you'll discover how to free your mind and transform it into your strength. Not by meditating or thinking positively, but by using real, practical solutions that provide immediate results. Lesson 1. Stop making life harder than it is. Should I send them a message? I might want to hold off for now. But if I take too much time, they could believe I'm not interested. But if I text now, I could come across as desperate. What happens if they're occupied? What if they're with another person? What happens if they take a screenshot and share it? I might need to rewrite it. I might wait until tomorrow. I might want to. Halt. Simply stop. Your brain is turning a simple text message into a complex task, like defusing a bomb. You are making simple choices feel like complicated problems that could confuse even the smartest machines. This is overthinking, and it's making everything in your life more difficult than it should be. Most decisions in life can be broken down into 2 easy steps. Is this something I should do? Absolutely, either way works. Will it be beneficial or harmful? Choose one and go. Your mind complicates every choice, turning it into a long flowchart with many branches and possible outcomes. You're not making a complex decision. You're just choosing what to have for lunch. The main issue isn't that you overthink. It's that you focus on the wrong things. You can spend 3 hours thinking about a 5-word text message, but make important decisions in just 5 minutes. You might think about a small social moment for days, but overlook the big life patterns that really need your focus. Here's a simple way to change this pattern. Apply the 10-10-10 rule. Is this important in 10 minutes, 10 months, 10 years? If the answer is no to all 3, stop overthinking and just do it. Most of what you're worrying about won't be important in just 10 minutes. You're wasting your mental energy on things that don't matter. Would you like to learn another trick? Set deadlines for your decisions. Make your choice about what to eat in 30 seconds. You've got 1 minute to choose your outfit. Take 5 minutes to make bigger choices. When the timer ends, you choose the option you are currently on. Stop wasting 2 hours picking a Netflix movie while your food gets cold. Complicated things often hide fear. If you find yourself making things more complicated than they need to be, take a moment to consider what you might be afraid of. Often, it's not about the choice you make. It's the worry about choosing incorrectly. However, the important point is that choosing incorrectly is preferable to not choosing at all. The easiest answer is often the correct one, usually, but not every time. If you need 3 paragraphs. Lesson 2. Break free from your mental prison. You have created the ideal prison. The walls are built from previous errors. The bars are made from feelings of guilt and regret. Your own self-judgment is what holds you back. What's the worst part? You are both the prisoner and the guard. Each day, you navigate through your thoughts, ensuring you remain stuck in unchangeable memories and unresolved pain. Let's be honest. That awkward moment from 5 years ago, no one else remembers it but you. The error you made. While others have moved forward, you continue to blame yourself. The person who caused you pain? They are out there enjoying their lives, while you are stuck in your own thoughts, going over the same scene repeatedly as if it's your responsibility. This is what is really going on. Your mind keeps repeating the same thoughts, like a record that won't change its tune. You wake up, think about old pains, blame yourself for past errors, picture different outcomes, and then go to bed tired, only to repeat it all the next day. You aren't dealing with the past. You're stuck in it. The truth that often goes unspoken, you're keeping these painful memories because they feel familiar. They're like worn-out clothes that no longer fit, but you continue to wear them because they feel nice. Your mental prison may hurt, but at least you know what to expect. It seems more secure than the unknown of releasing. Here's a simple way to begin your journey to freedom. First, understand that remembering is different from processing. Thinking about something all the time doesn't mean you're actually handling it. Real processing involves understanding and learning from experiences, rather than just going over them repeatedly in your mind. Give this a go. Whenever you find yourself in prison guard mode, take a moment to ask, what do I gain by holding on to this memory? What would occur if I simply released it? You can't change what happened. You're simply deciding to not let it influence your current situation. Here's another tool for escaping prison, the "that was then" technique. When old memory or guilt come to mind, tell yourself, that was then, this is now. Separate your past self from your present self. You're different now, so don't judge who you are today based on what you did before. Forgiveness doesn't mean that what happened was acceptable. It's about letting go of the weight you don't need to hold on to. It's possible to recognize that something was difficult or hurtful without letting it define your entire life. There's no need to keep hurting yourself to show that you've learned from your mistakes. Curious about the true way to escape? Stop acting like a devoted prison guard. When those thoughts arise, don't resist them. That only makes them more powerful. Let them pass by like clouds in the sky. Do not take them. Just leave them as they are. Don't take on their responsibility. Just let them pass by. Begin your escape from prison today. Pay attention when you're in guard mode. Notice when you are being hard on yourself for past mistakes. Now it's time to decide. Will you go around in circles in your mind, or will you take the step to leave? You always had the key. Go ahead and use it. Lesson 3. Your mind is lying to you. Here's the truth. Your mind can be very tricky and deceptive. It makes you think that everyone is judging you, but they're really not. It suggests that everything will go wrong, but it won't. It makes you feel like you're not good enough, but you are. What's the worst part? You think these falsehoods because they originate from your own mind? Consider this. How often has your mind imagined a complete disaster? And how often did that disaster really occur? Your brain tends to exaggerate small possibilities into big certainties. When someone doesn't reply to your message, you might quickly think, they must not like me. When you make a small mistake at work, it feels like you're definitely getting fired. Feeling nervous can make you think that everything is going to go wrong. The reality your mind may try to avoid is this. Many of its predictions are not accurate. Your brain is operating on old programming meant to help you survive in a risky environment. It was designed to think about the worst-case scenarios because, many years ago, that was important for survival. What about now? It's only causing you to feel unhappy about things that are unlikely to occur. Your mind often tells you the most common lies about other people and what lies ahead for you. It suggests that everyone is focused on you, but in truth, they are more concerned with their own thoughts. It tells you that you're going to fail, forgetting that you've gotten through all your past failures. It claims that things will never improve, even though there is clear proof that everything is always changing. It suggests you're not prepared, as if anyone truly feels fully prepared. It says it's too late, acting like it has control over time. Do you want to learn how to recognize when your mind is being deceptive? Begin gathering proof. Whenever your mind thinks something bad will happen, jot it down. Next, note what really takes place. Over time, you'll notice a trend. Your mind is often mistaken. It's similar to a weather forecaster who constantly predicts storms while living in a dry desert. Here's a strong approach. When your mind begins to deceive you, ask it one clear question. Where's your evidence? Focus on what is real and happening now, not on past experiences or fears. Notice how fast your mind begins to hesitate and rethink when you ask for evidence. It's surprising how many of your mind's strong beliefs fall apart when faced with the straightforward challenge of prove it. Give this experiment a go. For one day, think of your mind as if it is not telling the truth about anything negative. Think of every worry, every negative thought, and every doubt as if it's not true. Pay attention to how your day changes when you stop trusting every frightening thought your mind creates. It's like walking through life with a new perspective, one that isn't clouded by fear and doubt. Keep this in mind. Your mind is like a friend who tends to make everything seem more intense than it really is. If you wouldn't trust a friend who always exaggerates problems, then why trust your mind when it does the same? Say, I appreciate your opinion, but I'll wait to see what happens. Think of your mind's predictions as if they were the weather. Lesson 4. Start living. The action cure. While you're stuck in your head running scenarios, life is passing you by. That's the brutal truth. You're thinking about living instead of actually living. You're rehearsing life instead of experiencing it. You're so busy wondering about what might happen that you're missing what is happening. But here's the good news. There's a cure for this mental paralysis, and it's simpler than you think. It's called action. Think about how much of your life you've spent rehearsing conversations that never happened, planning for disasters that never came, and imagining scenarios that never played out. All that mental energy, all that emotional preparation, all that time wasted on things that only existed in your head. Meanwhile, real opportunities pass by because you were too busy thinking to notice them. Here's what nobody tells overthinkers. Action isn't just the cure, it's the prevention. When you're in motion, your mind doesn't have the bandwidth to overthink. It's like trying to read a book while running. It's nearly impossible. Your brain has to focus on what you're doing rather than what you're thinking about doing. This is why people often say their minds are clearest during exercise or when they're deeply engaged in a task. The secret is this. You don't have to feel ready to act. In fact, waiting to feel ready is just another form of overthinking. The people you admire, the ones who seem to move through life with confidence, they're not more ready than you. They just started before they felt ready. They understand that clarity comes from action, not the other way around. Think about it like jumping into a pool. You can stand at the edge calculating the water temperature, wondering about the depth, worrying about your technique, or you can just jump in. Once you're in the water, none of those thoughts matter anymore. You're dealing with reality instead of possibilities. This is what action does. It moves you from the realm of endless possibilities into the realm of actual experience. Here's what makes action so powerful. It gives you real data instead of mental projections. Instead of wondering, what if, you get to see what is. Instead of imagining how something might feel, you get to experience how it actually feels. This real-world feedback is worth more than 1,000 hours of mental rehearsal. It's the difference between studying a map and actually walking the territory. The most liberating part about choosing action over overthinking is this. Even if you make the wrong move, you're still better off than if you made no move at all. At least now you know. At least now you have real experience to learn from. At least now you're in the game instead of just watching from the sidelines of your own life. Start small. You don't have to make huge, life-altering depth. Lesson 5. The emergency stop button for your mind. When your mind is spinning out of control, you need more than advice. You need an emergency brake. Something that works right now, not tomorrow, not after practice, but in this moment. Think of this as your mental emergency kit, your overthinking kill switch, your instant off button when your thoughts are spiraling out of control. First, understand this. Your overthinking mind is like a runaway train. It's not going to stop by itself. It's not going to get tired and quit. It will keep going until you actively stop it. But here's the good news. You can stop it. Just like every machine has an emergency stop button, your mind has one too. You just need to know where to find it and how to use it. The most powerful emergency stop button is what I call the reality check reset. When you're caught in an overthinking spiral, look around your immediate environment. Name 5 things you can see, 4 things you can touch, 3 things you can hear, 2 things you can smell, and 1 thing you can taste. This isn't meditation or mindfulness. It's an emergency redirect that forces your brain to switch from imagining to experiencing. Your breath is another instant stop button. Not gentle, peaceful breathing. We're talking about the kind of breathing that leaves no room for thought. Take a deep breath for 4 counts, hold it for 7 counts, then exhale for 8 counts, then exhale for 8 counts. Do this 3 times. It's physically impossible to maintain an overthinking spiral while controlling your breath this precisely. Your brain has to choose between thinking and breathing always wins. Here's another emergency break, the so what chain. When you're overthinking something, keep asking so what until you hit bottom. Your mind says, what if I fail? So what? Then I'll look bad. So what? Then people will judge me. So what? Keep going until your brain runs out of disasters to predict. Usually, you'll find there's nothing truly catastrophic at the bottom of your fears. Physical pattern interrupts are your friend. When overthinking hits, immediately change your physical state. Stand up if you're sitting. Walk if you're standing. Run up and down stairs. Do push-ups. Jump around. Look stupid on purpose. Your brain can't maintain an anxiety spiral while your body is doing something completely different. It's like trying to write 2 different words with each hand. It forces a mental reset. The future self-check is another powerful stop button. Fast forward to tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. Will this thing you're overthinking matter then? Will you even remember it? 99% of the time, the answer is no. This instant perspective check can stop an overthinking spiral in its tracks. Here's one more emergency break. The already happened technique. Whatever you're overthinking, imagine it's already happened and you survived it. The worst outcome came true, and guess what? You're still here, still breathing, still capable of handling life. This removes the power from the fear of what might happen and shows your brain that even the worst-case scenario is survivable. Remember this. These aren't long-term solutions. They're emergency tools for when your mind is in crisis mode. They're like the fire extinguisher of mental tools, not something you use every day, but essential when you need them. Keep them handy, practice them when you're calm, so they're ready when you need them in an emergency. The key is to catch the overthinking early and hit the stop button hard. Don't wait until you're deep in the spiral. The moment you feel your thoughts starting to race, the second you notice yourself playing out scenarios, hit your emergency brake. The sooner you stop the train, the easier it is to get back on track. Final lesson. Overthinking is killing you. Here's the cure. Overthinking is not a problem you have to deal with for the rest of your life. It's not something that defines who you are, nor is it a burden you must bear. The 5 lessons you've learned are not just ideas. They provide a real way to break free from your own thoughts. Life seems easy at first glance. You tend to make things more complicated than they really are. You create mental barriers where there should be openness. Your mind can trick you into believing things that aren't true. The answer is always the same. Taking action can change things, and you can choose to stop whenever you want. Every minute you spend overthinking is a minute of your life that you could be using for something real. Every situation you imagine in your mind is energy you could use to actually experience life. Every what if that troubles you right now you're overlooking. You get to decide now. You can continue to stay in your thoughts, or you can begin to experience the real world. You can practice living, or you can begin to live it. You can continue to overthink everything, or you can choose to let yourself go. Your mind may make this decision seem more complicated than it is. Just this time, let it go. Simply begin. Your actual life is ready for you.